Hi, so it's Lift Lean, the first programme that I have run of the Kickstart Lift Lean programme. It's 28 days, you are all signed up. I think we've got about 58 people. It's a massive group, it's going to be awesome in the group chat, so make sure you set yourself up on your Facebook page. So make sure you're friends with me so I can then obviously request you into the group. This is going to be a huge platform for us to communicate, for me to post your daily online workouts, the nutrition stuff, any meal ideas, and it's just a way that we can all keep together and keep in contact, spur each other on. It's a real integral part of the programme, so make sure you are on Facebook, please, before we start the programme. Equipment, we need, as we know, we've talked about this, a foam roller, a stability ball, kettlebell, decent sized dumbbells, a mat, and anything that's going to glide along the floor. I've got a couple of gliders, but you know, perhaps a couple of towels. The other thing, if you've got it, don't worry if you haven't, a skipping rope's really useful. So you can always imaginary skip. And actually on the online daily workouts, what you'll find is sometimes Rachel incorporates you know, other equipment, for instance a step. She sometimes uses a medicine ball, she'll use some tubey thing, but don't worry about that, because if there's anything on the daily workout that you're going to need to improvise, I will give you that improvisation the day before. Or they're pretty easy for you to actually improvise yourself. The other thing to mention, when you're using your stability ball, and let's bring that out, we'll do a little bit of a technique talk here. When you're using your stability ball, ideal size is that your knees and hips are in line. Okay, the further, you've got to trust the ball. If you need to be against the wall, that's fine. But the further forward you walk those feet, okay, the easier, the less intense the ab work is going to be. If I push my upper body further over the ball, I can really feel that intensify. Because you've got to have a good stable base with your feet. So that's kind of the main thing with the stability ball. But again, there's exercises that we're doing this that you may not be comfortable with, you're losing balance, in which case go to the floor. That is absolutely fine. Really basic stuff here, a squat. And I know most of you do already train with me, but it's really important that you get your squat correct. And that just means sitting back with the hips, weight through the heels, and just making sure those knees don't shoot forward. Okay? Kettlebell. Now this is the biggie. This is the one that, I don't know if you've done kettlebell work before, but if you haven't, and you certainly haven't with me, we really do need to be careful with this. It's a heavy kettlebell. I'm using a 12. I know many of you have got 10. Some of you are a bit concerned that that was too heavy. You know, by all means, go and grab an 8 if you want one. You've just got to be really careful that you get this right. Now, your feet need to be fairly wide apart. The idea is that you use this swing motion, but it's a snap at the hips that is lifting this kettlebell, not my back and not my arms. Okay, so I'm driving the hips forward, reach through, and don't go too low either, that's the other key. Okay, so you'll be doing one arm ones as well, similar thing, there. There's lots of little different exercises we'll be doing with the kettlebell, but they're the ones that you really need to think about your technique on. Lower back stretch, and I mean you may find you need to just keep doing that lower back release in between some of the exercise. If you need to take a breather, you do that also. Okay, so that's your technique talk, and as far as the foam roller goes, I've done a whole new little video clip on that, so it's separate. Now before you start any of these online, you can be out of breath doing that kettlebell, any of these online workouts, I wanted you to just make sure that you've spent 4 or 5 minutes warming up, mobilising your joints, and that warming up could be skipping, imaginary skipping, it could be jogging on the spot, okay, running up and down the stairs, however you want to warm up. Don't just come in bang and turn it on and do this sort of 10-15 minute workout every morning. Mobilise your joints. So hips, just a few circles. Just remember, all of this is just going to enhance your performance. If you come in and try and do anything when you're not warm, you're going to be stiff before you've started, so you need to get some muscle and some mobility release. Okay, so spine. Think about all the areas you're working. Okay, we need to make sure you've opened out the chest. So that's one way of doing it, just throwing those arms back. You can swing the arms like a pendulum, taking one arm across and open. Yeah? And the other one. And again, we've talked about spinal twist, but also we can do that lateral move. So again, all 3 planes. And then you've obviously then got that release through that lower back. Okay, after you've completed your workout, just think about the areas that you've worked. And most of you, I'm sure, know your main stretches, which are your hamstrings. You can change your direction, changing and shifting where the stretch is happening in the backs of the legs. So you've got your hamstring. You're definitely going to need to stretch these after the kettlebell. You've got your lower back release there. Okay, you've got your quad stretch, heel to bottom, both sides. Lots for the upper body. So make sure you open out the chest, release there, round through the back there, chin to chest. If you've worked your biceps, there, both arms, triceps. So just thinking about every muscle that you've worked on that workout and just give it a good stretch, because if you don't, you're going to really feel it the next day. Then that's going to have an implication on the following day's workout. Shoulders, you need to try and release any tension through the neck and shoulders. So just a gentle bit of pressure, both sides, and releasing. Obviously I'm running through this quite quickly, but it's just to give you an idea. And then there's obviously back of the neck, interlock the fingers and just draw the chin down to the chest. Okay, so, and in the live classes we'll be running through some stretches. And in particular, the foam roller, that's where this comes in at the end. You need to be doing some muscle release. So the separate video clip will show you there what you need to do with the foam roller. And again, we'll be incorporated in class. I think this is a really important part, is sports massage and using your foam roller. So with that in mind, that is your introduction to the equipment, and so we can start with the online workouts. Everything else is all going to be posted up to you, nutrition, what you need to do to get prepped for the start, and I'm looking forward to it. So let's get on this group and start firing each other up, and I will see you at launch on Saturday.